Hi, I'm Dr. Amita Patel. I've been caring for these residents in long-term care and assisted living facilities since 1994. When they come here, sometimes it's their last home and nobody else is there to take care of them. So giving them the care to improve quality of their life really is very satisfying.
My name's Annie Eastep. Our positive attitudes rub off on the patients. I want everybody to have a good time, laugh, but know that we have to do our due diligence in taking care of everybody.
My name is Jennifer Stelzer. What motivates me at work each day is just being able to take care of the patients, the families, my staff. Yeah, we're like a family.
The big impact of tardive dyskinesia that we see in our residents are sometimes they have difficulty with swallowing. They have difficulty with speaking. If they have really bad piano fingers, they have trouble with assisting with dressing themselves. They have difficulty with holding their fork, their spoons. If they have really bad facial movements, they're embarrassed to go in any of the activities. We are trying to give them best quality of life in spite of being in long-term care. And what you see is they quit going to bingo, they quit going to activities, they quit going to church, they quit going out with their families, and it really affects their quality of life.
You know, you're already on these medications for your mental states, and then you're sitting here getting made fun of by, other patients. It's not really a good thing to feel.
So residents with unmanaged TD require extra time and attention, which definitely puts a burden on the staff. They have to assist with bathing, have to help get them dressed. We have to increase our monitoring for possible falls.
It debilitates them to the point where they can't feed themselves sometimes due to their shaking. Now they're dependent on staff to sit there and feed them. We have already a shortage of nursing staff. We know this is a nationwide thing. And so when we can treat tardive dyskinesia, we can bring those staff members more available to others.
It's important for anyone that spends time with residents to be aware of TD and what those movements look like.
The beauty of working in a long-term care setting is that we work as a team. So if anybody, whether it is nursing staff, activity staff, social worker, or even the housekeeping staff, if they see the impact of this, that they should be really reporting this.
Teva made this tear pad that anyone can easily use. Our nurses, even our STNAs, that really hits on all the different movements and what exactly they'll see.
So even if you don't have this, you can communicate this in any way. You can do it verbally. You can write the symptoms down that you see, just making sure that you let someone know what you see, as far as a nurse or a doctor. That way we can start managing the signs and symptoms early on.
There's a requirement in long-term care to do a mandatory AIMS assessment on every resident who is on antipsychotic or any other dopamine receptor blocking agents. That really helps us to look at not only if the TD movements are present, but also to assess severity. We do a formal AIMS exam at least every 6 months. If some residents have abnormal movements that we are very highly suspicious of tardive dyskinesia, then we do a formal AIMS exam at least every 3 months.
So the protocol for monitoring and assessing TD in patients, anyone who's on an antipsychotic, we have to do a baseline AIMS assessment, which assesses for those abnormal movements, and then we have to reassess that every 6 months. So with that being said, when someone has been on an antipsychotic in the past, they're no longer on it, they're not going to trigger to do the AIMS assessment. And that's why we have to educate the staff so they know what it looks like, because if you've ever been on an antipsychotic, you can get TD at any point in life.
So I think a Appropriate treatment for TD is super important because, once again, going towards the falls, falls can cause a lot of damage. You can fall and break a hip. You can fall and break an arm. Having the proper treatment for TD takes a little bit out of the way. They might not be wheelchair bound necessarily. They might be able to walk with a walker. They have a little bit more independence.
I have treated a lot of residents with tardive dyskinesia in a long-term care setting, but one particular resident comes to mind when I saw her and recognized she had tardive dyskinesia and initiated treatment. She had great improvement in her symptoms. Now she was able to play bingo and actually start coloring, go and put her makeup on by herself, assist with dressing, and she is really having much improved quality of life. So APA recommended treatment for tardive dyskinesia is with VMAT2 inhibitors. If patients are treated wrongly for tardive dyskinesia with, for example, benztropine, you are not going to help the tardive dyskinesia. I have seen a lot of residents in the past being treated for tardive dyskinesia with anticholinergics because we did not have treatment for tardive dyskinesia with VMAT2 inhibitors. Anticholinergic agents are not FDA approved for treatment of tardive dyskinesia, and in residents with tardive dyskinesia, they can make these movements worse.
I absolutely feel like TD goes underdiagnosed or not prioritized. I think the important thing for people to know is you don't have to be on an antipsychotic to have TD. You just had to have been on it at one time. It could have been years ago. And so I think that people don't know to make the connection sometimes. And it's vitally important to their quality of life.
So I think the actions that we need to bring to long-term care is just education to our staff. During these staff meetings, have a segment on TD explaining what are the signs and symptoms, what is the AIMS test. A lot of people don't even know what AIMS test means. And just going through the AIMS test, you get to understand all the different signs and symptoms.
We should be training all LTC staff on what tardive dyskinesia looks like, because in long-term care, we all work as a team, and everybody's involved in noticing if there is any change in resident status. So I would say if you see something, say something.